The Irish government are funding violent left-wing Antifa scum to counter protest against... You probably know the story.
I posted this in news.
I don't doubt it, yeah. So the Irish government are funding violent left-wing Antifa scum, says this Twitter user, to counter protest against concerned Irish people who object to their ethnic replacement by third worlders. I know roughly the story here, Di, but do you want to talk us through what happened here?
So, yeah, because I remember when I saw this last day, I was like, what the actual... Yeah, so this thing was... This story was fucking...
Yeah.
No, it was so retarded. So apparently there was a peaceful protest of concerned mothers happening in Dublin, about all this. I don't know exactly. I assume that they were, that it's about the tranny stuff and things like that. I'm not entirely sure what the protest was, but these thugs showed up, started trying to harass the protesters, because and this is a common tactic where like anytime there's been these talks of either immigration or like women's rights or whatever the fuck with this stuff, there's always these groups that just start showing up and like just straight up attacking.
It's the same thing that was happening in the US in like 2016, 2017. Yeah,
but it wasn't too bad until it's gotten very bad recently. Okay. Like of these, like the protests happening, like it's getting quite intense. And as you can see from this, some young Irish lads stepped in, roughed them up when they started trying to attack the women. They managed to get their hands on their like ID and phones and stuff like that. During all that, they got it, went through it. And were confused to find that there was like a UK numbers. The person that was causing a lot of the problems had their driving license from the UK. He was a UK citizen. A UK citizen that was pushing and calling all of the protesters and women and stuff there far right conspiracy theorists and like a hate group.
But bear in mind, to briefly defend my own countrymen, they were quote unquote British, but they weren't British. They were
all you have to do is look at the look at the picture, and it's while there is a British like flag right beside the picture, that does not look like a British man.
No, indeed.
But it is important to mention that fact. It's because like this is a technically British citizen coming to Ireland, and he has affiliation with the Irish media. And it seems like they were sent there intentionally to cause this issue and try and make the protesters out to be like these far right conspiracy theorists. They've been constantly pushing this evil far right movement that's on the rise in Ireland, and that's why they were using that to really push in the hate speech legislation that's coming in through law. But it's all kind of falling apart after the referendum because
that's
many
really
people...
good, by the way. That was really good news. You told me about that on a previous stream.
I was the Irish so rejected it. Happy.
It was so good.
I went out to vote, dude. I was like,
well done. Chat, can you press 1 to congratulate Di for being literally part of the solution?
I was following. I was waiting for this. I had this on my calendar. Like I was like, these people. But after that referendum happened, and the media and also the people in power saw the massive amount of people that were just like, no, we've had enough of this. They seem to have gotten scared, and they've really been pushing the far right stuff, but it's going down the drain quite quickly. There's been a lot of media outlets on fire, specifically after this news came out. Because like it's a very known Irish media service that they found that this person was in contact with, to see that they were encouraging foreign nationals to go and harass the Irish citizens during a peaceful protest is a massive. And like that's what we're doing. And they have the proof here with it as well.
If the Irish can get as pissed off at their own corrupt leaders as they can get at me, then they'll do fine.
No, I honestly think that the fact that there is a British flag by this person's face is kind of helping wake people up to how corrupt the people we have in power are.
It's misleading, but if it gets the job done, maybe it's okay. The thing is, I wonder if that's
misleading, but not really.
A deliberate wedge issue, like a deliberate separation, a deliberate attempt to create war.
It's not
or something?
just. Well, it could be. But on the driving license here, I'll post a link here so you can see
Thank
the
you.
one
I did see it
posted
earlier, but I don't have it up right.
Yeah, here. There is the link. Just click it, and the thing will be on the next picture. If you can see, it's not just the British flag. The UK driving license has the EU thing at the top left as well.
So it does. Which means it might be an older one. Yeah.
Maybe. But I think that this is good in a way because it shows that Ireland specifically, seeing that a British national is trying to harass Irish protesters and citizens kind of really rubs the Irish people the wrong way.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're working with the Irish media shows not just that this person is causing this, but the media itself, which we already know is corrupt. But to have this is very good. I don't know what we can do, though, because if our police don't do anything about it, they can just continue to go about doing shit like this.
The Irish historically haven't necessarily needed their police to affect action.
There's a weird thing happening here where our police, our Garda, are going around and trying to recruit people from mosques into the force currently.
Yeah, I guess either specifically racial quotas or more nakedly compliant people who will comply with. Because you wonder, of all the people in the world to import, they imported the group of the sort of race, the ethnicity, which is the most agreeable and supportive of tyranny, Middle Easterners. They could have imported the probably more violent Africans and lower IQ Africans. They could have imported the more collectivist but more intelligent Asians. But no, they went for the relatively low intelligence but very high conformity Arabs. That was who they went for.
Well, yeah, because they're trying to just cause massive division wherever they go. And Muslims are the best for that. You throw them into any country that is not Muslim and they will burn it down. It is just essentially it's easier just to see it as that's just a foreign invasion that is just being allowed in by our government to just completely decimate the native population wherever they go, not just Ireland, but throughout the whole world currently. It is just they're essentially just taking the demographic of Africa and putting them everywhere else, and we're all falling to shit because again, they're savages. They're savages that can't function or don't know how to function in the society we've built, and they would sooner destroy what we have built up so that they can bring it down to their level of shit, so that they can continue to live in an environment they understand, because they can only live in pure chaos.
I mean,
they can only live in an environment where it's kill or be killed. Yeah. That's all they can do.
It's not necessarily that these lineages are inherently invalid. It's just that they come from third world countries and they're used to absolutely shit standards, which means that it's much easier for them to compete with us because they can live 10 to a house, whereas we would demand 1 per house. They can work for 1/10 the wages, whereas we demand reasonable wages.
And they can essentially have multiple wives, multiple kids.
Yeah, replace the local populations, even though they're less competent. And you think I think there's 2 major influences. One that's attempting to replace whites and Europeans with foreigners, and one that's attempting to sabotage those same very nations. Both strategies synergize with getting a lot of sub-Saharan Africans and Middle Easterners into these countries, and that's what's happened.
Yeah.